none other than the co-owner of Stewart Haas Racing, as well as a Hall of Famer, the pride of Indiana himself, Tony Stewart, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Tony?
Man, I'm great, hanging in there and trying to live life a little different than what we're all used to, but at the same time, we're still excited that, we're all able to race and excited for the Indy 500 this weekend.
What was the first time you walked into the Brickyard? You remember that?
Oh, my God. As a kid, I'm not even sure what year it was, but I went with my father. I think the first time was to one of the qualifying days. And then I remember a separate year, my dad taking me to the race, and we sat on the front row of turns 3 and 4, which you can't see a lot from there, but everything that went by really fast. So had a great appreciation at a young age, for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indy 500.
I bet. So, growing up, I guess, who was your favorite racer there?
A.J. Foyt.
A.J. Foyt.
A.J. Foyt.
He was a badass, man. He was a badass, A.J. Foyt. I remember that. I remember watching Wild World of Sports growing up, right? And listening to, Jackie Stewart, right? And Chris Economaki on the mic and doing the racing. I lived for it. I loved it. Loved every second of it, Tony.
Yeah, I did too. I every year, even when I had the first opportunity in '96 to race in Indianapolis, and remember all the pageantry and everything leading up to it. I was a wreck. I didn't even know how I was going to drive the car in the race. Like at the practice days, qualifying, all that was pretty sanitary and sane. And then you get to race day and you have all the pre-race pageantry and everything going on. And it was like, just please tell me to get in the car so I can drive now, because it's driving me crazy. So I was glad when we finally got to that point.
I bet. Tell me about the day where you ran in the Brickyard and then took care of some NASCAR responsibilities, where you actually took care of 2 races in one day. Walk me through that one, Tony.
Makes for a long day, I can tell you that.
I bet.
Especially when, the Indy 500's in Indiana, and then you fly down to Charlotte, North Carolina to run the Coca-Cola 600, which is NASCAR's longest race of the year. So, it's just, I did it twice. I did it in '99 the first year, and then did it again in 2001. And not a guy that's a big workout guy, not a nutrition guy. Just was kind of old school, like A.J. Foyt was, I guess, in that regard. But just literally, I was so nervous about being dehydrated. I didn't eat enough solid food during the day, and it really got to me at the end of the 600. But it's a long day. The hardest part's probably running the Indy 500 for me, because I was so used to being in the stock car every week at that point that, being in an Indy car just one time that year for the 500 was the hardest part of it. But you get done with that, you get on a helicopter, you fly to the Indy airport, you get on an airplane, you fly down to the Concord airport, get on another helicopter, and land in the infield of the racetrack. So, it just makes for a very, very long day, and it took a lot of people that made the logistics happen. But the second time we did it, we had a trainer that went with us. We got clearance on the flight once we took off from Indianapolis. Once we got in the air, we were direct all the way to Concord, didn't have any junctions to make. So it was a 44-minute flight down there. But having a trainer and having a medical staff to make sure they got IV fluids in me during that flight, and making sure that I had the right foods to eat to help me get through the next 600-mile race was a big part of it.
Yeah, to do the Indy 500 and then fly to a totally different state, and then, as you point out, the longest race for NASCAR. That is you gotta love racing. And I just drove up to see my mom up in the East Bay in Northern California. Just drove it straight. My back was killing me. Literally about 3-4 hours in. But I'm a 50-year-old guy, though. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine what you did. It's impressive.
Well, it's and so that's a perfect example. Everybody thinks it's just like driving a street car. The seats in the race cars, both the Indy car and the stock car, are form fit to you. So it's the most comfortable seat you're going to be in from that standpoint. But it's like anything else, any other sport, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. You have to be prepared for it and seasoned for it. And, being in a race car 3 days a week, every weekend, like I was running, you were in shape for it and ready for it. So, the biggest thing was just the nutrition side of it and making sure that in between the races we were getting rehydrated, which we were getting the advantage of IV fluids to help us with that, and making sure we were eating the right foods that were going to help us with the energy we needed to run a 4-hour, 600-mile race in Charlotte after the 500 was, having that preparation and having those people in place to help us get ready for that, made that all possible.
Tony Stewart here on the Rich Eisen Show. Fortunate enough before the pandemic truly hit, inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame this past January, and none other than Jimmie Johnson doing the inducting. Where does Jimmie rank in terms of guys that you have raced against, Tony?
He's in the top 5 for sure. And it's not always just about what he does on the racetrack. It's all the stuff he does off the racetrack and the kind of person he is off the racetrack. I mean, I consider him a great friend and somebody that I admire. I mean, he whatever it is he chooses to do in his life, whether it's his personal life, whether it's his professional life, he gives 110% to it. And he works hard at every aspect of it. I mean, the things that he does, I mean, I'm lucky if I woke up in time to even have a meal before I would get up in the morning for practice. Jimmie, on the other hand, would have already rode a 60 to 100-mile bike ride, came back, probably jogged 10 miles, and then got up and got a shower, got a breakfast, and got ready for practice. So, I mean, he's just one of those guys that, he's definitely getting the most out of life right now, for sure.
Well, he's talked about, flying with you once upon a time, eating hamburgers with you. So are you saying that was out of character for Jimmie to be chowing burgers like that on your jet?
Yeah, he to watch him eat a hamburger, it's like a foreign object to him. So to me, it's like, man, where's the closest McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or something, or Jimmy John's? I'm hungry. So, to sit there and watch Jimmie eat a cheeseburger like that, he's like, this is all you have? I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, what more would you want? That's the way our conversation.
No, I know.
Like, man, come hang out with me for a week. He goes, I get you straight down. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not getting away from my comfort foods.
Well, he also said that on that plane ride, you were feeding your dogs filet mignon while he was eating burgers. Is that a true story too, Tony?
Why that happened, but the dog got the steak and I got the cheeseburger or something. So, but I love my dogs too, so I'll do anything for my dogs.
I am with you on that front, sir. Our dog. I think my wife likes dogs more than people. I think personally, It's entirely possible.
Well, I've always just liked the saying that you could sit there and take your dog and take your girlfriend and put them in the trunk, and 2 hours later open the trunk and see which one's actually happy to see you. I mean, that tells the story right there.
Tony Stewart, everybody, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so this Indy 500, what are you most looking forward to? I mean, if you want to talk about unique, we're talking August. We're talking an empty Brickyard, So what are you expecting out of this one?
Well, I mean, it's definitely different for sure. I mean, this isn't the year that any of us in any professional sport have wanted to see on any standpoint. But, I think what I'm excited about, I mean, I'm super excited about what Advanced Auto Parts and Die Hard batteries are doing. I mean, it's a year where it just wasn't possible to have fans at the race. And, Advanced Auto Parts and Die Hard batteries figured out a way to try to get the fans engaged and make them a part of the pre-race ceremonies and the command to start your engines, and having the promotion of callingall-diehards.com. If you get on there and send in a video of your command for the drivers to start their engines, you have a chance to be that person that gets to start the starting field. And if you don't make that, then the next 50 people get $200 gift certificates for Die Hard batteries or any products that Advanced Auto Parts have at their stores. So it's a pretty cool promotion, and I think it's something where it shows how much Advanced Auto Parts are celebrating the 50 years that Die Hard batteries have been at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, starting the entire 33-car starting field and celebrating their 50 years of commitment to the Indianapolis 500. So to have those guys partner up and, to have the fans be able to be a part of of the Indy 500, even though we can't be there in person, to have that promotion and have these people have an opportunity to participate, I think is about as good as you could possibly ask for. So really proud of Advance and Die Hard for participating in this and helping bring the experience back to the people.
Callingalldiehards.com through Advance Auto Parts. Is there any tips you can give, Tony, as somebody who's heard this for a long time? You're a native from Indiana. This is a very serious business of telling someone to start their engines. Is there a word that you'd suggest somebody could, accent? Is it start? Is it your engines? I mean, walk me through what you think would make a very good call on this front.
Well, I was telling Doug Bowles from Indianapolis Motor Speedway today. I said what I was most grateful of was when I was a driver and heard that command was I was glad that the cars didn't have carburetors on them. I'm glad they were just fuel injected, because if they were carburetors, my foot was bouncing on the throttle pedal so hard from nerves and my legs shaking that it would have flooded the motor. So I'm glad they were fuel injected to where there wasn't any fuel going in there till.
Oh, we just lost Tony right there. Interesting that he says, just as we say, start your engines. Right in the middle of all that. Well, okay. Let's see if he'll call back. Lost him right there. If you want to pop on there, Christopher, see if he's still there. I think we lost him. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.